a YouTube channel.
You should, babe. I think you would.
How? My whole personality fucking hides.
If you think Gaia should start her own YouTube channel, leave a comment down below and give this video a thumbs up.
If any of you are from Instagram, you've seen my real personality on our lives. Whenever we go live together, that's more of my personality. But for some reason, anytime this camera goes on, I'm like, ooh.
She kind of morphs into this like TV newscaster, reporter persona. She's like,
it's nervous.
Good evening, everybody.
I don't know. I don't want people to think that I'm slouching or anything. My titties look bad. My hair looks bad.
Do you want to do the intro?
I don't even know what your intro is. I don't watch your YouTube video.
I'm not
I watched
upset
it while
about
he's
it.
editing them.
I'm not
I think
upset
that
about
counts.
anything. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with my beautiful girlfriend, Gaia, and we're going to answer some questions about what it's like dating a trans guy. I put up a poll on my Instagram story. I feel like I say this every video, but I put up a poll on my Instagram story, or like a submissions thing, where you guys could submit your questions that you have about dating as a trans person, what it's like, whether you're cis or if you're trans and you're just curious about the process. So picked a handful of those, and we are going to do our best to answer them in this video. Alright, so we're going to start off just like from the top of the list, and these first 4 are for you.
You're going to mix them up?
No, the people want to hear from you. Do you want to read them out, or do you want me to read them to you?
You read them out.
Okay, so I have to do everything. Okay, so the first question says, was Gaia hesitant to date you because you're trans? Had she ever dated a trans person before?
No, I never hesitated. There was no hesitation. And yes, I have dated a trans man before.
I don't know. I guess that kind of feeds into the whole like conversation about like preferences and stuff.
But why would it be a preference?
Whether or not you would date a person because they're trans, people say that it's transphobic.
If you say I don't want to date you because you're trans, then yes, it's transphobic.
Yeah. The second question, they're asking if your sexuality changed when you started dating me, because I guess there's a big debate about whether or not you have to be pansexual if you're dating a trans person.
No, I'm bisexual, and I've always been bisexual ever since I've come out. Nothing's changed once I started dating Dakota, or my ex for that matter. I think people who say that pansexuality includes trans people but not bisexuality, that's
incorrect.
Incorrect.
There was an account on my TikTok recently, on one of the videos that I posted, where someone was literally fighting me for like a whole day straight, saying like if you're dating a trans person you're automatically pansexual because that's what pansexual means. It means you date trans people. And I was like, I'm bisexual and I would date a trans person, and that wouldn't change the fact that I'm bisexual. Because to me, pansexuality kind of treats transgender people like it's a whole third gender.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Exactly, yeah, which isn't the case. Maybe we should have put this in my unpopular opinions video. But for me, I would just say, okay, I'm bisexual, and that means that I would date anybody on the, gender binary, whether you're like strictly female, strictly male, or somewhere in between. It literally does not matter to me. Let's move on from this. I think we should have put, which one is it? Oh shit, yeah. This third question. This is a doozy of a question. The question is, does Gaia's family know that I'm trans, and how did they react / like how do they treat you? Do they treat you any differently?
My family does know. So my mom initially knew from the beginning that he was, because my mom is very accepting of anything and everything.
Yeah. Her mom is a saint.
So she knew, my sister knew, it wasn't a big deal. He came to visit the first time in 2019, and he left a needle out.
At the time, I was still doing weekly shots. And we were staying with her grandmother.
Yeah.
And I did my shot while staying at her grandmother's house.
And he forgot to put it in his designated little bag, and he put it in the trash. And so my grandma texted me and asked me if he was a cocaine addict.
Heroin, I think, was the specific drug that she accused me of
Alright,
using.
cocaine is the one you sniff.
Yeah.
I'm not well versed.
She thought it was a heroin addict, basically.
And then I said, because he wasn't comfortable coming out, I said, no, he just needs insulin because he is diabetic. And she said, he ate a lot of sweets when he was here.
She just completely bought it and went with it, ran with it. It was honestly kind of funny. But the only reason that I said don't tell her I'm trans yet is because I wanted to come out to her family members on like a...
On his terms.
Yeah, exactly. On my own terms. So I wasn't ready. I had only visited for like, what?
3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks. So I was like, no, I'm gonna wait.
Unfortunately, somebody snitched from my family. Still not sure who it was. Some family members are saying, oh, it was them, but I know it wasn't. And that's how, unfortunately, my grandma came to know.
Yeah.
But I don't think she has treated him any different.
No.
She might have like asked a few questions just because
she's old and
she
curious.
doesn't understand.
She once did corner me in the kitchen and was
Yeah,
like, how did you decide? And I was like, I didn't decide. She was very respectful. I don't think any of your family members think lowly of me because I'm trans.
No.
That I know of.
Even my dad, who isn't the best person, I don't think he has treated him any different. He came to me and he said, what does this mean for you? And he was like, are you a lesbian? And I was like, why would I be a lesbian?
I don't feel like I'm treated any differently. The only time that it's ever been an issue was when somebody outed me. Okay, this is still questions about you. Sorry. They love you. They're obsessed with you.
I know.
Who can blame them? Look at her. Was Guy hesitant at first to ask questions about Dakota's transition / like trans related stuff?
I don't think I've ever asked questions.
There have been some times where you're like, babe, can I ask you something?
Oh yeah, okay, but it's mostly like
it's mostly related to
little
the
things.
Yeah, and like the community as a whole.
I know I'm bisexual, but I kind of don't understand what being non-binary means. So I've asked questions like that and tried to broaden my horizon. And I've asked him questions of that sort, but I have never once, I don't think, come to you and been like...
No, you've never really asked me any like personal transition like related questions, like stuff about my transition. I think the most that you've ever asked me about was just like, you were pretty involved in my top surgery process.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
You were basically my boyfriend at that point, almost.
Yeah.
And so I was curious to see mostly how you were doing. Mostly
Yeah.
that, oh my god, they chopped your tits off.
There was a time period where I would try to like convince you to do my shots.
I don't want to do that because I find it like icky or just, I'm scared of killing him. You know, everybody puts the thought of, oh my god, if an air bubble goes into you, you die. And I don't want to accidentally kill him and then it's on me. And like, if you want to kill yourself, do it by yourself. If you're not good with needles and stuff, it's your own problem. I'm fine with warming up your testosterone and everything, but...
And it's nice because like, even though you're a bit like squeamish around needles and stuff, like you still sit with me and you still like talk. Because I have very bad shot anxiety still, even though I've been doing this for nearly 5 fucking years. But yeah, she helps out a lot. But yeah, you've never asked like any super personal questions.
I think it's mostly because I was well educated in that sense. Because of my ex and because of...
You were already a part of
exactly,
the
and I had like lots of friends, so I was already like educated on it. So I didn't really feel the need to, oh my god, why do you do this? Oh my god, why do you want to do that?
Okay, so the next question is, how did you first approach sex together? Is there a proper sex like etiquette?
Wait, first of all, I had never had sex before him.
Yeah, I was her first.
He was my first, so...
But how was it though? Was it... Not the sex, like don't say the sex was good, but I mean like the environment. Like was it... Did you feel...
Okay, so this is a bit, not personal, but I'm gonna tell them.
That's okay.
When he first came here, I told him straight up, listen, I don't think... Because I had never kissed anyone ever before. I had never done anything, okay? And so I told him, listen, it might take me a little bit to warm up to the idea of even kissing you, and then we kissed the first night, no problem. But the sex thing was obviously a bigger deal for me because, not because he was trans, but because it was my first time having sex. I was mostly concerned about how I was gonna perform, but it was never an issue like Dakota-wise.
I think for like most of the time that I was here when I first visited, I didn't really want you to do much to me.
Oh yeah,
I was very much... I wasn't dysphoric. I don't know how to put it in a better way. I guess it was a dysphoria thing. I guess I can't say that I wasn't dysphoric because deep down I was. I was worried, and I still have these thoughts like to this day sometimes, like I was worried that even though she hadn't had any like prior experience, I wouldn't be living up to her expectations.
Like we had already had sex, but it was mostly pill princess and...
Which I was fine with, I don't mind.
But then it started after he got more comfortable. I don't even think there's an etiquette. It's whatever your partner feels comfortable with. It's with any other aspect of sex. Even if you're not with a transgender person, you're still gonna have to ask your partner, do you like this? Is this okay? Does this hurt? Or whatever it may be, you still have to ask it. So it's not very different. Whatever he's comfortable with, I have no expectations. Whatever.
It just comes down to like, yeah, your levels of comfort with your partner, and like you have to have open communication because otherwise you're both just gonna be fumbling around and neither of you are gonna have a good time. So there's no proper sex etiquette. Just keep an open mind with your partner and make sure that you keep open communications. How did you learn to have healthy communication about your body, and how do you deal with bad dysphoria days is in a relationship. I still do not have like a set way to deal with dysphoria. I guess when I'm having a bad dysphoria day, you've always been very good about, because I was straight up with you and I said, listen, when I'm dysphoric, I need the reassurance. Like, I'm not the type of person who, when I feel dysphoric, I like close in on myself. I go to her and I say, hey, I'm feeling like shit about, you know, this or that. And I'm like, I need the reassurance because otherwise I am gonna just be a sobbing mess for the rest of the day. That's how I deal with it. I just go to her and I'm like, if I'm alone, then okay, maybe I'll work out, you know, and that kind of helps me feel a bit more masculine, or like I'll play video games or write or film to take my mind off of it. But when it comes to like dealing with it in a relationship, again, with the last question, it's just about communication, I feel like.
Do not always expect the other person to be 100% for you there, because
what if they're going through their own shit?
Exactly. So just always be mindful of your partner as well.
What's the best thing about dating a trans guy? Everything. We're perfect.
I would say that we are a very spot-on couple, a very much 100% compatible couple.
Yeah, our personalities are very similar.
But I wouldn't know what the best thing about dating, because they said a trans man.
Yeah, specifically a trans guy. I don't know. It's kind of a difficult question to answer because like trans guys aren't really that much different
It's not like guys. I'm saying it's not two different things. It's to me the same. I wouldn't know what to say.
But if I'm gonna toot my own horn, I'm gonna say that trans guys are better. How would you feel if your significant other was friends with someone who was transphobic or supported someone who was? That would make me feel like ass.
I would never support. First of all, because I do not want to support a shitty person. Why would I be friends? I don't care how well we know each other, how long we've known each other. Especially for such an important thing. You know, if you say you don't like pizza with pineapple on it, and I'm like,
which
oh,
is delicious,
I like it.
By the way.
That's not a deal breaker. Unless you're actively trying to change their mind and be like, listen, what you're thinking is wrong, outdated, stupid, anything. But at the same time, if they don't change,
and you're still with
goodbye.
them. I agree. I think if your significant other is the type of person who's like, oh, can't we just agree to disagree, and it's about like basic human rights, then no, and you should leave them. Anyways, that's all the questions that we're going to answer in this video. So if you guys have made it this far, if you're still watching at this point, thank you so much for sticking around. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to convince Gaia to A, be in more YouTube videos with me, or B, start her own YouTube channel, or C, all of the above, please leave a comment down below. Let us know. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and do that. It's free. It takes 5 seconds. It means nothing to you, but it means the world to us. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.